You having a nice laugh, are you?
Everything is a drum.
Hey!
And go.
What's up everyone, Adam from FWCI here, Home Alone pitch meeting. I can't believe I haven't reacted to this. A part of me feels like I kind of have at some point, and I don't mean like in my civilian life, I mean like on the channel, but I did all the searching that I could and I couldn't find a video, so apparently I haven't, but the reason I'm so shocked is because I love Home Alone. It's incredibly violent and honestly pretty like terrifying and scary, probably more so for parents than kids, but with all that being said, there's something about that movie that is just so perfect, and I've seen it hundreds of times. Well, maybe not hundreds. Probably a high like 80s. Oh, I don't know. Let me know in the comments, realistically, how many times have you watched Home Alone in its entirety? Because if I watched it like every year since it came out, you know, that's like 30 times there, and I don't know if I've watched it multiple times a year, so I don't know, maybe I've watched it a dozen times, perhaps? I did watch things ad nauseum when I was a kid. I'm gonna go with 12 times I've seen this movie in its entirety. Let me know in the comments what your number is. But Home Alone pitch meeting, Ryan George, let's do it.
I was told you had a movie idea for me. Yes, sir, I do. See, last month my wife and my brother went on vacation together alone. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. No, what? Don't be sorry. They accidentally forgot me at home. Are you sure that's what happened? Well, yeah, of course. Why else would they not bring me on a vacation to Paris? All right, I mean... Oh.
Whoa. That's a dark origin for this movie. Well, yeah, you know what? It makes sense.
Okay, and so, you know, I got to be home all alone. That's great, buddy. It was great. I ate candy, I watched movies, I went grocery shopping all by myself. Okay, to be honest, I'm not getting what the movie idea is, and I'm getting a little sad. Right, so I was thinking, if I'm having such an amazing time, imagine if this happened to an 8-year-old kid. You want to make a movie where a child's wife cheats on him? What? No.
Holy... I was gonna say, how does the origin of this not come from like an actual child was left home alone? It came from this bizarre relationship that this guy has with his wife.
Oh, I want a kid to be accidentally left at home while his family goes on vacation. I guess my question is, how would that ever happen? Well, his family leaves on a vacation and they don't realize he's not with them.
Big family.
It just seems like a really improbable thing. Oh yeah, I'm well aware. Okay, so... Well, I was doing some research and there's this thing.
You know what? They made the chaos in that movie seem like... And they made the family big enough and all the extra people there. I think they did a good job making it seem legitimate that at least one of their kids could potentially get forgotten. I think they did it.
Thing in storytelling called the suspension of disbelief. What's that? They say that the audience sacrifices realism and logic for the sake of enjoyment. Oh, so the audience will kind of just overlook unrealistic things? Right, so I think if we exploit that to like an extreme level, we're good. Huh, interesting.
Yeah, if there was ever a movie that, you know, embodies the idea of suspend your disbelief, it's Home Alone.
So I think I figured out like the perfect storm of unrealistic coincidences to get this premise off the ground. All right, you got me, I'm listening. Okay, so first off, the kid has to be part of a huge family. Like it has to be big enough that you wonder if they've ever heard of birth control. Plus some uncles and cousins can be there too. They also all have to be really mean to the kid so he can wish that they would disappear. Then they also have to accidentally throw his plane ticket in the trash. Then they also have to make him sleep in the attic so they don't see him when they're leaving. There also has to be a huge storm the night before the departure that knocks out the phone line so they can't contact him when they're gone. That storm also has to knock out the power. That way their alarms can shut off in the night and they wake up late for their flight.
All I'm hearing is amazing logic. It's all explained. I love it.
Right. Also, the kid needs to sleep so heavily that he doesn't hear 15 people running around and yelling. There also has to be a random...
Good point. That is a bit of a deep slumber.
The exact moment they're doing a head count so they can get it wrong. Then we have to have nobody think of him even a little bit until they're mid-flight. So they really have to be like an awful family. They have to be the worst family. Oh yeah, also then the kid has to wake up and...
Also true.
and think he's magic because he wished that they disappeared, and they did. Wouldn't he just make the connection that they were supposed to leave on a trip that morning? You'd think so, but if we have him not understand what an airport shuttle is, he can look at their cars and be like, there's no way they could have gotten to the airport without those. So he thinks he magically erased his family from existence? Right. So just to be clear, we need to have all those extremely unlikely scenarios play out one after the other just to get this kid alone at home by himself? That's right. And this suspension of disbelief. Right, with that, people will just be okay with all of that.
Yeah, we all are.
All of that. Yeah, pretty cool, right? Well, then awesome. So tell me more about this kid, Kevin.
I think it was perfectly fine. What are you complaining about, producer guy?
McAllister. Well,
And by the way, if you do have a story that's about like a kid being left alone in those kind of circumstances, wouldn't you want it to be a whole series of completely unbelievable like situations that led to it instead of something rooted in reality? Doesn't that make it even more like unsettling?
You know how his family is the worst? Yeah, I imagine he's like the only nice one in the family. Oh no, he's also the worst. Oh, he is? Yeah, he calls his mom a dummy and he's really snarky with everyone. He's also unable to pack a suitcase, like it's the end of the world for him to do that. And how does he get over the trauma of the situation? The trauma? Well, I mean, in Kevin's mind, he's essentially just killed his family with a wish. I imagine that's gonna be hard for him to come to terms with. Actually, super easy, barely an inconvenience. Really?
Dance party.
Or that Kevin is a psychopath. Oh yeah. We're talking complete disregard for the physical and emotional well-being of everyone he comes across in his life. And he talks to himself, kind of a lot. So he's happy that they're dead. He's thrilled. He has a little eyebrow celebration thing, and then he does all the exact same stuff I did when I was home alone.
Yeah, holy shit, that puts a different spin on it. I always heard the theory of like Kevin is a psychopath and everything like that, but hearing it put in these words, it kind of is, it's ringing true.
Alone, except I didn't shave. Does anything else happen, or do we just watch a kid go crazy at home by himself? Well, I'm glad you asked, because that's where things get really interesting. How's that? Well, it turns out that two burglars have their hearts set on breaking into the McAllister house. So why this house in particular? One of them mentioned something about it probably having some VCRs. VCRs are great, and they always will be. So these guys think that the house is empty because they've been casing the joint. Oh no. But Kevin finds out that they want to break in. So he calls the cops? No. Well, eventually. Eventually, why not right away? Because of the psychopath thing. Oh. I don't get it. Well, the bandits break in, but Kevin is like some kind of genius. Like he set up a bunch of intricate death traps that they walk into one by one. But you said the kid was freaked out about packing a suitcase, like that was too much. Oh, right. And now he's like a death trap engineer? Yeah, no, that's a mistake. I'll change the suitcase thing. That doesn't make any sense. Meh, it's probably fine. You sure? It's no problem. I could change it to something that makes the whole death trap engineer make sense. Nah, keep the suitcase thing. It's all good. Okay, so he's too stupid to pack a suitcase, but he's great at traps. So what
Fight or flight?
happens with the robbers? Well, they somehow survive a bunch of very, very fatal injuries. Wow. Yeah, and in the middle of the robbery, it seems like they forget that they wanted to rob the house, and now they just want to murder this child. It becomes about murder. It seems that way. Because at a certain point, Kevin just leaves them alone in the house, and they don't take anything. Just focused on the kid, no more VCRs. Yep, so at the end, they get arrested because they tried to break in and murder a child. It's very dark. And then overnight, he manages to clean up all the traps, including some stairs covered in tar. And then his family comes back the next day and immediately ignore him again. What do you think? Well, I think it might have some potential, but...
Are we not going to talk about the old man who terrified him?
But it's missing something, some kind of big selling point. Do you have anything in mind? Well, we could try the Christmas play. I mean, that rarely works, but what's that? That's when you make a movie take place at Christmas time, even if it has almost nothing to do with Christmas time. So people think, oh, this is a Christmas movie, I have to watch it. Exactly. Would that work if I just add in a couple of random Christmas elements? Well, it's certainly not going to be a Christmas classic, but it's worth a shot.
Yes, I think that if a movie has nothing to do with Christmas, but is set at Christmas, or if it's set at Christmas and there's nothing to do with it, but there's like a tiny thread of Christmas through it, not a Christmas movie. Christmas movies about the whole experience. There's usually less black eyes and guns. That's my take on it anyway.
I don't know if I stand by the bit about this not being a Christmas movie anymore. That feels a little gatekeepy. I'm not the gatekeeper of what is a Christmas movie or what isn't. Christmas is the reason why this...
I'm the gatekeeper of what's a Christmas movie. These are really interesting. I haven't been watching heaps of the after you know, these after chats that he's been doing lately, but I think I might go out of my way to go back and watch some of them, because I really, really like Ryan George. He is somebody who is an inspiration for my channel. That's why the pitch meetings have never gone away. Plus, they always do great views as well. But I just love everything this guy does. And his take on Home Alone is, it's pretty spot on. It's pretty spot on. The movie's weird. It doesn't make any sense. It's very, very easy to point out issues with that. There's been a whole bunch of Home Alone theories. Like, there's a thing that Kevin is a psychopath. There's a thing that his dad is in the mob, and that's why they actually want to rob him. He's got something in there. There's also a theory that the police officer who shows up at the start, which you believe is Harry, actually isn't him. I think there's like a whole thing of that. There's like a different name somewhere. It's supposed to be his brother or something. I don't know. But apparently that's not even supposed to be the same character that Joe Pesci plays throughout the movie. The cop at the start and the robber throughout the rest of the movie. But Home Alone is definitely a classic. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this one. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, everyone, be well, stay safe, look after your friends. See you in the next video. Peace!